No, I had to do a sound check earlier. I wasn't sure if the sound was working, so I ended the live, uploaded it to check it, and saw it was working okay. So I said, okay, now I'll do another one. So I've already stretched and worked out this morning, so I'm gonna jump right into doing some more. I gotta do my next set anyway. Because I believe doing a set every hour, 45 minutes to an every hour, or whenever you think about it and you feel like you're ready to take it on. Sometimes even if you're not ready, as long as you can mentally calculate, okay, I can do it, and just jump into it. It's like anything fun that most people don't want to jump into, but once they start, then they feel, I'm glad I came, or whatever, or I'm glad I started walking here, or I'm glad I started jogging, or driving wherever, or going to some place, visiting somewhere you haven't visited, starting a new exercise you haven't done. Once you start, you'll see and you see the benefits from it. And one of the benefits is, wow, I start to feel better. Which you might innocently, and I forgive all who do this because it's innocently done, just forget to work out or stop it or not realize that that's the key to their physical happiness. Because physically, to have your mental feel right, you have to have healthy body parts. If you put crap in your body, that crap is going to affect your body. And today we live in a really, in this time and day and age, it's more important than any day and age that's ever existed in history because of how much chemical processed foods that we have access to that back in the day they didn't have as much access to. So we have so much chemical versions, medicines, and the United States has the highest FDA, the Food, Drug, and Health Administration. We have the highest recall of foods and prescription drugs, sometimes a 90% per year, which is crazy. That's why Cat Williams made that joke about every 6 months that you hear about lawsuits coming out. Have you or a loved one died who took this prescription? Call now to join the class action lawsuit. So. Stretching now though, getting ready to work out. Stretching is important to being able to do a decent workout. As long as you pick the right weight. Doesn't have to, less is okay, but you don't want to go overweight. And if you do, you want to work out slow. You don't want to yank up something that's heavy. Like I'll work out with 10, 15s, 20s, and 25s. Yes, I can pick up 50-pound and 100-pound dumbbells. I might be able to lift it one time, but it'll hurt my arm and you know what I mean? You got to build up. There's levels to it. And even they'll tell you, don't just yank it up. Yes, that explosiveness is nice at low level weights, but on high weight levels, that explosiveness can hurt you. And if it doesn't hurt you then, it'll hurt you later. You'll have pinched nerves. Nerves are hundredths of slimmer than your hair, and they're weaved all in and through your anatomy, right around your bones, in between your discs. So when you pinch a nerve, it gets stuck in between the discs. That's that sciatic nerve. But so that's why you don't want to be fast when yanking it. Explosiveness you want to work on, but do it responsibly. Make sure you practice that exercise. And make sure you're holding the right form. Like if you like explosive and push-ups is good, but make sure your back is straight and make sure you're tightening your core so it's protecting your spine. That's the main thing you want to protect during push-ups is your spine. You protect your spine and got everything else engaged, and you choose which muscles to isolate and which ones to engage. Because remember, the more muscles you engage, the quicker you're going to burn out. Let me put the light in the white. Hold on. Or yellow. Let me see. Can I see here? Yeah. Just gonna do 20 diamonds. Remember, diamonds, you want your fingers to touch, like you're catching a football almost. Thumbs touching, pointer fingers touching. You want it like a diamond. Like the Diamond Dallas guy on wrestling or catching the football. You want to make that diamond. You want it right in the middle of your solar plex. You know, you want to feel your chest just bumping real quick off of it. Dum, dum, dum. And make sure your head is looking up straight forward. It looks professional. And it keeps you alert at what's going on while you're working out. And it also helps protect and engage your core and spine, as well as the neck muscles. It's important. Alright, just 20 diamonds now. We've already done 40, 30, 20, 10, 40, 30, 20, 10. Just 200 quick push-ups. Make sure you're locked all the way up. See how the elbow's up? If you can do it, you can do half and third reps if that's your goal. And if you want to make your muscles grow, yes, you do need to. I don't know, I did like 50, 60. We'll just say 50. I counted to 40 and it started blasting off. I was like, because I gotta go to work here soon. I gotta fix another sliding door job. It's another one. I got the wheels just in time. I was gonna reschedule. They came like at 9:30 at night. The sliding door roller wheels. I got both kinds, 2 of each. I got 2 of these. These were sold individual. And I'll show you on the back. They just go right into the bottom. And then these are the double wheels, which both got 2 screws on the side, so they both could possibly fit. But and they're 6-foot doors, so they're not too heavy. It's there's what are they, 74 inch, something like that, 74, 76. I think with the frame all together it's 78. But they're better than the 94 inch doors that are also a foot wide or 4 foot, and these are only 3 foot wide. Okay, one more set. Let me stretch again. Oh yeah, I got these. The drug awareness resistance education. But yeah. Well, let me put the camera down here. We've already done a few hundred diamonds. So I'm just gonna see how many. I think I can bust another 20. Go all the way up, lock your elbows. Make sure that your thumb and your pointer again is touching. And make sure your head isn't bopping like that, You wanna lift your head up and be alert what's going on. And just wait for that little tap right there. And make sure to breathe. And go slow when you start getting tired. It's better than resting at the top. Because resting at the top is good for a little bit, but you won't be able to do as many if you were just to breathe and keep pushing. At least for a minute. Alright. I'll do a few burnouts. Just because I was feeling the burn there. Figured I'd throw the burnouts in with it. Okay, I'll stretch real quick. And it's better to, when you release your stretches, to I call these the sub-zeros. To really, when you're releasing from your stretch, to go back up slowly. Because you got really thin nerves, like 1/100th of a, slimmer than a hair, all through your body. And they weave in and out through some of your bone joints or close to it. And it's easy to push it right over in the joint and it gets pinched. That's why a lot of sciatic nerves get pinched in the spine. Either a massage was done wrong or an injury. And it's very hard to get it back out without surgery. Or it could take several chiropractor visits or whatever to try to get it out. It's because they're so slim and fragile. You have to be careful with nerves, as well as muscle injury and bruising and all kind of stuff. I'm going to work on some of the dumbbell exercise today. Again, there's 20 muscles in the forearm. So like you can do elbow flexation, forearm flexation, front and side twist. 3 different areas in the tricep. There's 3 tricep areas, as well as activate all 3 of those. So we're going to do curls like this. And not like this, but upside reverse and standing. And we'll be standing. I'll be right back. Let me grab the dumbbells. Passei a breve. Olha agora, Pintin. É breve. Andar breve. Undar. Oh yeah, undar. Like what are you saying? Undar. Well, it's like UNDAR is the way you would pronounce it in English. Undar. It just means walk. And then soon is breve, where you roll the R. BREVE, the way it would be. So andar breve means you walk soon. Andar breve, ping ping. Okay, hold on. Let me get the dumbbells. Okay, put these up high. Now this is just a good forearm exercise, other than the cable wrist ones, which I like to do. Usually we'll do flexation, which is where you do like where their muscle stretches the most. So for me, it would be from here to here. So I'll just do those, but I'm gonna do full today. You want to go slow. You don't want to be explosive with weights. That's how you get hurt with weights. Because they're heavy, and it's easy to start shaking your form and pinch a nerve or hurt a muscle. So it's better to go slower. And slower is also more resistance. More resistance will be less reps, but it's a sign that it's more effective. And slower reps also, I believe, do build inner strength. So that's why push-ups I like, because I can start out explosive, and then I work my way into doing them slow. And then I'll do like some butterfly. And then I'll work my way into doing them slow from fast, from explosive. That way I kind of get both. I like to keep looking forward, the same with these two, same with push-ups. Stretch in between. These are 8 pounds, so I don't use nothing too crazy to hurt myself. And then we'll do work on some traps and some arms, and some pectoral and some wings. That's a good one for wings, is these two. It pulls out those wings. And doing these wide, to where the wing comes out right there, and your laterals start to come out. And then you go slow. I just go slow back down. Go like into a Y shape, like cable pulling. And you can do it upside down too, but it's more effective up this way. Doing the Y, the same as cable pull downs. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let the good cold, the fresh air come in through the nose, go right through the brain, and it turns into hot air into your lungs, which creates CO2. That's not good for the brain, so exhale that hot CO2 out through the mouth. So in through, let the good stuff in through the nose, let the bad stuff out through the mouth. So that's how I was taught to breathe. It's a book of Japa by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and there's another lot of breathing techniques there. It's Fall Into the Gap is one he has. So yeah, that one came with an audio CD and a book. So I gotta remember that one. So again, doing like a Y shape, like you're doing cable pull downs. Pretty much just using my forearm and shoulder, isolated my bicep, so I can get those round shoulders. And then the same as doing traps, or shrugs, like you're just shrugging, like center, but shrugging high and isolating, meaning not using don't use your bicep or your forearm, just use your shoulder to shrug. Okay, now the reason why I'm doing these are good for rounding, and I'm feeling the burn from all the burnouts and push-ups I've done already. And then the same method as I'm doing this, I'll throw it. It's a little different, but it'll help develop more of the shoulder muscle and make it more round and full. You want to make sure you have your form, you're not rocking. I like to stand like this, like I'm making a V, like standing at attention. Make sure your knees are locked. I might put a slight 1% bend in them when I'm going, just to keep myself from rocking. So I can have some explosiveness, but over time you'll be able to have explosiveness and keep form. Like that, you don't want to rock when you're doing it. That means you do too much weight or you're going too fast. Okay. Now that's when you have to switch, because you can't do these at the same time. You'll uppercut into each other. So you have to do one. And remember, just like shrugs, you're isolating, you're not using your bicep, you're just using your shoulder to lift up. Same thing, using your shoulder to throw these, but at an angle you're throwing it. Or you're lifting and throwing at an angle with your shoulder only. Yes, you can do it with your bicep and forearm, but then you're only cheating yourself. I mean, you're the one that wants the results, right? So definitely don't cheat yourself. Alright, I'm going to jump right into push-ups with these, because just like doing pull-ups, how you got to grip, it makes you activate these forearm muscles. So that's one reason I like to sometimes, or a lot of times, we will do some push-ups with these. I can't do more than 20 because I turn to my palm with these dumbbells. Lock your elbows. Make sure your head's lifted up. Sometimes I end with those knees. Then we'll stretch so we don't hurt ourselves if we continue. Even though I'm going to go walk the dog and I got a job this morning. Again, I got to put these sliding door rollers on the bottom. So these exercises really do help me. Handyman has calisthenics, whatever you want to call it. So I'm literally going to be lifting up the door. You know, same. It helps with the dumbbell, the hammer curls. But hammer curls is a good wrist and forearm measure, because you have 20 muscles in your forearm. And you can learn to activate a bunch of them at the same time, isolate, depending on which way you twist, the angle, which way you flex. Some require you to work together with these to activate. Remember your elbow, you even have an elbow flexation. Wrist, different muscles to help you flex each finger and wrist. So there's 20 muscles in the forearm that you can work on. You just don't want to use more than moderate weight. And you don't want to throw it too fast or go out of form. That's it. And you want to make sure you stretch and eat correct. And if you can't eat correct, do what I did. Start by getting rid of sodas and switching to water. And just so you see, I'm not capping. If you come here, you'll see all I got is organic, never from concentrate, coconut, blue Callaway. There's no soda. Flaxseed organic, organic crack, organic everything. Coconut oil. The keto bread, which has 0 sugar and from organic grain, and doesn't have 0 enriched grain and 0 bleach. Organic eggs. They even have feathers stuck on them, so I had to clean the feathers and stuff off. Organic chia seeds. There's whatever. The most I'll drink is unsweetened tea sometimes, because no sugar. I believe sugar causes all cancer. Get into that another video, or you can go back or I'll use organic grain rice, which you don't have to wash any of that stuff. You only have to wash that enriched grain, because it's a chemical processed rice. That's what enriched is. So I used to be innocent and think enriched meant, oh, it's enriched full of vitamins. No, it's enriched full of crap. With a synthetic germ, because they replaced the original wheat grain with a synthetic chemical bioengineered wheat grain, and it leaves plastic when you cook rice on the inside of the pot. You're like, what is that plastic stuff? When I switched to the organic grain or whole grain, anything that's not enriched grain, and look all over the box. Sometimes they'll hide it on the side and not put it in the back. And if it says, you don't want anything that says sugar, because that's processed sugar. You don't gotta quit or be mad at me for recommending that, because you can still eat it. You just want to eat the organic version, or the pure cane sugar, not the dehydrated version. It should have moisture. When something is dehydrated, that means it's concentrated. That's how you concentrate something. You dehydrate it and turn it into a crystallized dehydrated, which is like 20 to 100x times more than sugar, and it rehydrates when it goes back in your system and steals moisture from nearby nerves, swapping it with these chemical moisture, causing diabetes, glaucoma, dementia, and all kind of other issues. So you don't gotta quit sugar, just stop eating processed sugar. And don't shoot the messenger, that's just the truth. You can look up, processed sugar literally is bleached. They literally have sodium chloride, whatever. They have it sprayed over the top. So there's bread. Now they're starting to make bread like this one. They're starting to make more different keto forms, but they're charging a little more for it. But that's okay. I'd rather pay more for the bread or make my own. There's a lot of stuff you can grow your own if you got your own garden. You don't have to have enriched grain stuff. It's in rice, oatmeal, bread. It's in a lot of stuff. So yeah, this is Make with Mike. Have a great day. I gotta get ready for work though. I got 2 totes I gotta take with me today, and the sliding door rollers I got from Amazon. I gotta do some metal cutting. I gotta find a few studs, and then I gotta work on the sliding door. So that's my jobs for today, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. Matter of fact, let me end with 100 burnouts. All right. All right. I might fall on my face, but that's okay. $20. 40. 60. 70. 80. 90. 93. 100. Woo. Okay. I already did plenty of full repetitions. That's something when you do stretching repetitions. You can look up, even Sam Solik promotes that and many other researchers. There's not knowing, so if you're upset about it, there's innocence there. So don't worry. I used to laugh at it, thinking it don't do nothing. It does, some people nickname it back arms, but it's called burnouts. And it mainly works on your tricep and your core, because you're in plank position, engaging the core each time you pump. Because that's you remember, you want to engage your core, because you want to protect your spine, and you want to keep your back straight. That's the two key issues when doing push-ups that people make, that I ever would hear getting hurt when doing push-ups. Their form wasn't right, or they didn't engage their core when doing high reps. But yeah, so I like to end with the burnouts, but you do 10 of those a day. I usually throw 10 push-ups on top. Crap, I was so caught up in the burnout. Lock the elbows. Okay, 110. But yeah, it would have been harder if I did it all together, but I could have. But it works on your tricep in all three areas: the back, the side, and this side. So there's three muscles of the tricep. And this kind of engages them all, because you're in that most difficult part of the push-up is, I would say, where people go to fall. It's not when they're up here, it's when they go back down and try to lift up again and get like right there. And then boom, then they fall. Or at least for me, when I try to do 150 in a row every time. I used to be able to hit a 150 straight. I'm not gonna go for that anymore. I'm just gonna, that was a military school thing. But yeah. Whew. Yeah, I feel the burn there. Okay, now I'm gonna go. I just wanted to show you guys the burnouts as the ending set instead of the, and I could do another one. I could actually do 200 of those in a row. If you think you could do more than 200, send a video, show me. If you're doing 220 burnout, something like that. You're gonna feel it. And make sure you're pumping. Make sure you're going up at least this far, like at least a third of the way. You know, and because you want to keep that pump going. And you're working on just the tricep part, which is the part that starts in the push-up. And then it goes down, doom, 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 as you go up. By the time you're up all the way, you're going to use your forearm, tricep, and bicep all together. If you're using them all together instead of isolating any of them, unless you're doing a certain workout for a certain result, then yeah. But yeah, there's thousands of combinations for results. Eddie, Pepe. Her nickname is Pepe. Passeio? Passeio? E xixi? Xixi passeio, Pepe? É gostoso, cachorros? É muito lindo, Pepe. E beijando olhos, nariz, ouvidos, os cabelos, e bocas, olhos, e chulés. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I might record live when I'm doing the sliding door. I'll have one of the workers I'm going to have with me today, Eric, hold the camera. I think I can talk him into holding it. I'm like, Eric, I'm paying you. You want to hold the camera or hold the sliding door? Alright. Oh, I guess I can see the comments now, yeah. Bro, Mike. Oh. What's up, Turg? What's up, Benjamin? Tudo bem, Benjamin? Que isso? ¿Cómo fala, Benjamin? Spanish? Portuguese? Ah. I can see the chat. Ah, Benjamin's gone, okay. What's up, ball? Game over, okay. I guess the games are over. We don't real life, so yeah. I ain't had a PlayStation in a minute. I've been tempted to buy it. I used to play games, but it distracts you from making money, man. Unless you're planning to be a billionaire or millionaire Twitch streamer, or at least 100K. Or at least enough to pay the rent. I don't think I could do that, but if you can, okay. But I feel like it distracts you from reality. Like reality won't make you happy. You'll be having anxiety, wanting to get home and play the game if you get addicted to the games. I think they're temporary joys, but not permanent ones. That's the only reason, from my experience. But everyone's different. So, and to be open-minded is to listen to them all. So if you have a good experience with games all the way until your death, okay. Not for me though. It distracts me too much. But thanks, Paul. Okay. Did you do any push-ups today? Or did you work out, or? I just did the diamonds today. We're mainly trying to work on the triceps back here. And tomorrow, next few weeks, I'm gonna do only wides, as wide as I can. I won't be able to do as many, but it's gonna work spread the chest wider as well as my laterals. So we'll have to activate the laterals. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm hoping that was a typo. If not, that's funny. Okay. But yeah, I got to install these today. So these push-ups really help me out. Because I usually do all the lifting alone. I usually hire somebody just to drive. To put my tools in their car and stuff like that. And just to drive. I have too much anxiety to trust people around my tools, and they're too expensive. I have several thousands invested just in one brand alone. Yeah. So I feel like I work better alone, unless I need physical help. With something, but I usually don't. Unless if I do, I'll sub the whole job out to them and just mark it up 20% or however much. Like I just did a big lawyer's office, a couple doctor's office, more than one, a couple of restaurants, bars and grills, a lot of couple Timberland stores, 3 different PacSuns, 3 different Under Armour chandelier jobs, and a removing desk and stuff. What's that one little store, the monkey backpacks? They're called Kipling. That's like their logo, the monkey on the backpack. I don't know if it's like a Dora thing or what, but it's Kipling. I had to do level 5 finish on their wall and hang their TV that was huge, and just put a plywood backing on their metal studs, which are kind of hard to hit. But I found, you can hit the studs, you just got to have the metal bit and go a little slow. Sometimes cut a hole so you can hold the piece so you don't push the metal. But the wood studs are easy to hit. The metal are hard to bite into if you're not sure what you're doing. So yeah, I do a lot of jobs all by myself. If you look on my YouTube, you'll see me on ladders in the middle of stores with people. Oh, I usually have a 2-hour time limit, so I gotta work fast. When I do commercial jobs in the outlets. Or Disney, I gotta get approval 24 hours with security, send my ID over, pass the background, then they'll let you in through the gates, gotta pass security again. Then you gotta hurry up and you gotta plan for all this because it's time consuming. And then you gotta hurry up and finish before they open. If you take too long with security and stuff and you get there and the store is open, you can't work because they'll have like a lawsuit thing. If someone's working while they're open, they can get sued, I guess, possibly. Or something with safety. So yeah, I've never had that happen. I've had to reschedule because of one of the store owners one time at one of the stores. But that was just a miscommunication issue. But yeah. What other store? Kirkland, the grocery store. A bunch of stores. But yeah, I definitely been blessed. It wasn't my marketing. It was literally me praying and the phone ringing after minutes after I prayed. And I would say it's just a once in a while thing, but it's literally every time I pray. But you have to pray again with your heart, not with sarcasm, not just for proof for God to show himself to you. Again, it doesn't work that way. It has to be a sincere and a long-term commitment, not just a temporary motivation thing. You know what I mean? Your willpower is to live for yourself. What do you want to do? To ask yourself when you do anything. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing it for the creator of everything? Am I doing it for me or him? My will or his will? That's all that means. So to do his will is to do things that he would want. And you have to pray for him to show that, and he will if you ask him. But you gotta be saved first. And you gotta mean it. And if you fall from grace is after you're saved, you start doing bad, you can fall from grace. You can still be saved, but he can end your life here earlier. He can shorten your years. Unless you were to come and humble yourself, like the hundreds of examples. Where am I? I'm rereading the Bible now. I'm back on Jeremiah in consecutive. I've already read beginning and end. I'm starting over again. So, yeah. People ask, why is the evil exist? Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. I, the Lord, created good and evil. I, the Lord, created these things for situations of extreme and for calamity, which is to be calm, situations of calm. So he created the test. Yes, he created the monsters. He created the blessings. He created this. You know, he created everything. That's the whole system. That's it. And there's fear. You can fear him or you can fear the devil. The devil's going to bless you temporarily. God's going to bless you permanent. One's a temporary joy. One's a permanent joy. But that's just where I get my pre-workout from. I get it from Christ. So I get excited every day knowing I'm going to do something for him possibly. And it says if you bless people or do anything like that, to not tell people about it. Don't go bragging. That's a form. It's not a good form. It's a form of trying to steal credit or trying to steal shine. Saying, oh, I did this. I'm a good person. You should only bless and do things in secret. You should not have to go boasting and bragging about it. So if you give to charity, you're not supposed to tell people you give to charity. And if you do, it should be in private or as a lesson or as a demonstration. So, but yeah, so I believe when I run into situations like that, it feels good because he places it there every time I ask. That's all I'll say. Alright, do a couple weighted squats. It helps your balance up. I'm just going to do one set. Just an 8 or 10 pound dumbbell. So then you hold your hands straight out. And you make sure your knees don't go past your feet. If your knees go past your feet, that's bad for your spine. So you want to make sure you're back as you can. As far back as you can without falling over. And that dumbbell will help keep you balanced. And it will add some pressure to your workout. You'll feel the burn quicker. Even if doing just a few sets. And it releases a fluid that is good, like a natural growth hormone for your upper body muscles and your lower body muscles, but it's only released from leg workouts. So if you want your arms to get bigger, do squats. Yeah, I did a lot of squats yesterday. But yeah, I do still a little bit each day. You get a resistance, it won't hurt every time. But yeah, doing the burnouts every day. I could jump in and do a set again and again and again. But once an hour, I like to do a set, try to get 1,000 a day, 1,100 total. So I had 10 push-ups with it all together. So 100 burnouts followed up with 10 consecutive push-ups and then get up. Make sure the core is engaged the entire time. And your head's lifted up. And that you're bouncing at least a third or more to keep the pump going in the tricep. So when you think of burnouts, think of your back arms burning, all 3 areas of your tricep, depending on which muscles you isolate or use. So specifically, go tighten the tricep. Whew. All right, this is MakewithMike. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I did the push-ups. Yeah, I'm tired. I gotta go to work. No, I'm not scared of the devil at all. The Lord, it says the Lord created evil and good. That He created like once like if I were to like, there's examples of kings that follow God for a long time, and then all of a sudden they get tricked by a witch and start having multiple lives doing witchcraft. She teaches the king to do incense to burn to another god and start putting up false idols, making them forget that God helped them. Um, So, and then that's falling from His grace, and then God will literally plague that town and say, "Hey, what you doing? You make the blessings in these towns. I'm not going to let people think that they come from these false idols." So He's going to curse that town, just like in Jeremiah right now, how He did Sodom, how He did Babylon, how He sent the message to Jeremiah, to Nebuchadnezzar and Zebediah. But yeah, that's what I'm reading now. Again, it's a good story though. And it's the Lord's He gave the people free will, but they abused it because they started burning babies. And that's when the Lord's like, all right, I had enough. I'm stepping in. They're starting to burn children, sacrifice babies to Baal. I'm stepping in. That's Jeremiah chapter 20, 21, and 19. But specifically 21 and 20, you'll read about that. And 22, the following. You'll see where God uses their own weapons against them and warns them to stop, and they don't. They still continue sacrificing, killing Christians, murdering people, and He steps in. Hey, that's history. They didn't start calling it religion until they couldn't, you know what I mean? Islam's always been a billion behind, We're 2.8 billion. They're like 1.7, 1.8. They might have grown a little bit, but we've grown a tremendous amount as well. Especially in Catholicism. King Leo the other day just denounced Mariology and said she is not to be worshipped, but to be respected, but Christ is to be worshipped. He's the only divine one that's performed the prophecies, did the miracles, spoke the beginning to the end, and said no more prophet shall come after him. So, and that book confirms what the Quran says, which the Quran says to confirm the Torah, the book before it. And if anything in it disproves that, then that's true, not the Quran. So that's the Islamic dilemma is. And you'll see there's a thing going around with Avery and Sam Shimon and a few other ones. But, God Logic or whatever. But I've already been to my book every time, as well as I study it. So I have another book here where every time I read, I'll get my own interpretation. And I'll just double check to see what someone else's study of it is, like some scholars. So that's it. But yeah, have a great day, guys. Let me get ready for work. I gotta take the dogs for a walk. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Ball. Thanks for messaging. This is Make with Mike. Yay.